All right, we're back with another VOD review. We have the Gladiators taking on the Boston Uprising, and this match is the finals of this like Steelseries Invitational thing that happened. We saw Gladiators win over the London Spitfire in a very close match. Went pretty back and forth. Pretty impressed with the London Spitfire. And then we have Boston Uprising, who went to 5 against Paris as well. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how these two teams match up. I think the Gladiators is definitely the better team. I think Gladiators and potentially London actually look better than the other two respective teams, so I'm excited to see how it is. The major flaw that we saw from Boston in their matchup is they tried to force Valentine Genji a bunch of times. I don't know why. They tried to play like a lot of Ana Genji and just didn't work really anywhere. Gladiators, on the other hand, where they struggled was they were trying to play this dive composition with like the Echo, Winston stuff against the brawl that London tried to play, and they weren't able to win many maps. I think if Gladiators stick to brawl, they're really good at it. Like when they play brawl, they're honestly next level. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen if Boston and Gladiator, if they just both play brawl, I think it'd be really interesting to see how that would match up. We saw Mirror pick up the Doomfist brawl, and I just don't know if that was broken or just broken on that one map because it actually just left London shook. So we'll see. So we're gonna go through this match. Obviously, the players that were in, pretty much what we saw last, in the last few matches. We yet to see skewed from the LA Gladiators. Otherwise, we have seen Mirror come in here and there. Actually, not a whole lot of Mirror, but mainly Kev's the Bird Ring. But we saw bits and pieces of Mirror. And on Boston Uprising, we have IM37 in. They have switched in soon at certain times, and we haven't seen Color Hex at all. So soon comes in to play the Tracer, but IM37's there for the hit scan, but Valentine's been playing the Flex DPS. So most of what we've seen. So yeah, we also haven't seen any fusions in the main tank role. So let's see what we get in this match.
Realm now, where it's just bombs and Symmetras and who gets their
move cat cam. Oh yeah, sorry. Let me no more cat in this. You guys got a little bit of cat cam in there. Well, cat tree.
I really think spam is.
All right, so we got the double group up here, and pretty much the same thing. The major difference we saw is that Boston played the Junkrat versus the versus the May. I don't really know what happened, but Gladiators won. They just that fight is actually one of the dumbest fights ever. It's literally just chaos. There's like, it's gonna end in the first 10 seconds of the fight, and it's impossible to tell who's gonna win it. So, I think the wall is pretty valuable and the freezing potential, but Valentine has 76% charge to a tire. That's how much damage he did, and they still lost. Where did the damage come out? It looks like Stand 1 died early. Muse has a lot more ult charge. Actually, Faith must have died early as well, so you can sort of see the little bit of differences. IM37 also has no ult charge, so some mistakes. I think just some like instant deaths. A couple players on Boston didn't really get much value in that fight. This is really hard to re-engage into, especially with the Junkrat, I think. It's interesting that both teams are playing the Orisa. We've seen little bits of the Orisa. Oh! Okay. Okay, sorry. Dude. Valentine just deleted Birdering from the server. The space Orisa. But sorry, going back to my original point, it's interesting seeing both teams play Orisa because we saw bits and pieces of it from Gladiators, even from Boston a little bit. But it's interesting to see them both come out and start on. I wonder if they sort of come to a point where they think Orisa is the better off-tank to play in this brawl style comp. You should have done that Junkrat rollout from the VOD review yesterday. Oh yeah, that was next level. It almost worked.
Instantly, like all the time. It's just so much damage. People are getting deleted off the map. Now Boston does have a tire for the defense here, but Gladiators nearing a...
Okay, I don't know if I like the window on the right side. Kevster goes down. Oh, that's a good shatter by Muse and blocks Stand 1. So Muse honestly kind of carrying that fight. Then throws... Yo, look at this fight back from Muse's perspective. Oh, oops, sorry. I'm turning the audio down. 1 second. Should make sure in... Oh, fuck. Look at this fire strike. Look at this play by Muse in just this fight. Steps in, throws the fire strike, insta kills Valentine through the window with the fire strike, okay? He then gets aggressive. He doesn't get to block, he shatters the backline, the Symmetra, and I think just gets the Symmetra, but forces Lamp, then blocks the shatter, then goes back to the window, throws another fire strike through the window, and then kills the Baptiste. I think he would have killed the Symmetra as well if Moth hadn't killed him at the exact same time.
another fight.
That was a crazy fight by Muse. He honestly just did so much work.
Not expect that whatsoever.
Orisa off tank, yeah. I think with the new Orisa changes of the headshot hitboxes, teams have been leaning into in the brawl just having the Orisa, having the pull is so oppressive, like that displacement, having an extra shield, and having a character that just can't die. The problem with both Diva doesn't do enough damage off the bat. Obviously, he's able to negate a lot of ultimates with the thing and sort of negate a lot of damage. Doesn't really have a whole lot of damage herself, at least a burst damage. And Xayah is kind of useless in these head-on clashes because she gets 80 energy and if she lives, that's great. But she can also die very easily to just almost everything. So I think people have been leaning more towards the Orisa just for the survivability and the help that it enables your Mei, your Symmetra, your Reinhardt.
Swiftly turned into a bulker.
It halts into window fire strike will just completely.
Yeah, Halt Window Fire Strike. I didn't even think about that combo as well, as Hex just said. So,
Are the Gladiators holding on to this defense? And you gotta be really
oh, the bongo. That was great heads up play by the LA Gladiators, recognizing what was going to happen. They recognized, oh,
It's a lot of angles.
they didn't get the bongo though.
In the fifth dimension.
So they heads up, rushed them before Boston were expecting them to do so, and they ended up getting a ton of value from the bongo anyway.
They're able to play around.
Ugh.
Kevster does just
Kevster though, kind of farming on the sim.
left clicks. Manages to get out.
That cost Boston a lot. They used bongo beat. I guess the beat kept them alive for a little bit and their wall, but all right, Valentine coming back on the Doomfist. We'll see how that goes. Wait, Ryan lived there? Yeah, some things never. Some people never die. Baptiste, the value of Baptiste having a lamp.
get in, the wall comes down, and then the rest of
This is kind of a boring series. Yeah, we're gonna. Oh! I like the tempo that the Gladiators are playing. I like, you can tell the teamwork and the coordination that they're really working together and really planning out good ideas of like how to execute. They're never content with just sitting and playing reactive. They're very proactive, and they showed that a lot in their series against London as well. Even though I didn't love their compositions, I think their strategies and plans were good. So big props to Gladiators. Seem to be playing pretty clean.
comes out.
Moth Diff, yeah.
The other day, I got a triple right click as Zen through a window.
Wait, sorry, what did you say?
So me dominating Custa the other day.
The movie
like
theater
me,
screen comes out.
So me dominating Custa the other day. I got a triple right click as Zen through a window and it killed 3 people. It was including Scott.
Okay. That did happen, and it was kind of sick, but, you know, he's shooting at me. I was running away. It was through a window. It wasn't dominated. It was luck. I think that was all luck from Jaws. He couldn't do it again. Did he say GG no read?
Okay, spam six.
That's it, 1v1.
Valentine didn't have a good job.
God
here.
fucking damn. Jaws thinks he's so good because he gets one triple right click.
Outmatching him a little bit.
He had you out on stream. He's really going to do that to me on official broadcast.
Like Boston wants to change some stuff too, because also
Mad goes bad. I'm pissed.
than Punk did. Punk not necessarily known for his Orisa. So definitely going to be some changes here. Punk's going to get in there with the Matrix to try to eat up a lot of that spam. Maybe clear up.
All right, so we're going to see Reaper, Reinhardt, Diva versus Gladiator. I just really don't like Boston's comp. I don't think Boston has enough burst damage. I think Stam 1 is just going to die.
Way for Valentine.
And I don't think the Reaper's going to get as much value as they want him to. Yeah, actually, it's interesting that they don't want to fight. They didn't take the fight for White. I actually like this adaptation.
Smart. Don't play the hallway against a jump.
Yeah, against the composition that Gladiators play, then they're not taking it head on. I don't...
Playing far away.
What are they going to do, though? They're just kind of hoping Valentine's going to get...
Waiting for them.
Okay, good TP.
Just teleport.
Oh!
Right to be
Good value? Oh, okay.
Field's already been used. That's bad news.
Yeah. Here's the problem. I think they have the surprise... Oh! I don't think anyone was expecting that shatter.
Can they get any more?
That was a quick shatter. How did he even get that?
Charge from Ryan 37 turns them all to toe.
How did he even get that shatter? Where did he get all the ult charge?
Valentine's wait to oh, for them. Ways
He's at 20%.
cover too. Valentine's waiting for them. Walk through that door.
40% hits a big fire strike. Swings. 60%, 65%, 80%. Hits another big fire strike. Swings again. Oh my god. Nobody expected that shatter. Holy cow.
On their backs,
That was big by Sam1. He got that so quick.
turrets. And just a left click fully charged from Ryan 37.
Main tank diff? Yo, actually main tank diff.
I just really love that they realize
Boston Brand Scuff comes all freaking day. I understand the point of this one. I don't know if it wins in the long term though. Like,
spaces and our Junkrat is it's not.
I like the adaptation to the May McCree. I feel like this is going to keep this Reaper in check a lot more. I think it's a great switch, actually. That window was actually so well done. They forced so much out and got so much positioning. I feel like Boston has to run on their toes, but I think Boston is so dependent on having their...
There it is. Yeah, right click's going to do
Yeah, I think...
almost nothing. And
Do you
now
just wait this out if you're Gladiators?
you have to either push someone to your side of the
Space went to the Diva as well to mirror to the Reaper. I think the Reaper's just going to get a whole lot less... Ooh!
he does get shattered.
I think with the Diva out, I think
Rather easily. Absolutely.
they're just going to get counted. And here's the problem with these kind of comps, right? You got to be really careful when you come up with this counter comp, because you can understand how the Reaper Symmetra Diva counters the, like, Junkrat Sim, right? That Gladiators were playing. But the problem is, it then is gonna... The counter, you're kind of, like, hoping that Gladiators don't counter it effectively, but now Gladiators have countered Boston's comp effectively. They're gonna be the ones who have to switch. As much as they get 50% ult charge, I think you have to switch if you're Boston. And if they get caught on this comp, I think they're just gonna lose. The May McCree Diva is just gonna make it so that the Reaper is never gonna get value. And I think that... What does the Diva do in this composition now? I think the Diva is just gonna get melted and isn't gonna have that value for Boston. So I think they've kind of ended up in this place where they're sort of countering themselves. Well, wait. Oh, that wall's in Nani. It's in the very corner. That wall just went into...
There's the window. Deadeye available. Speed.
Oh, nice left back shoot. Oh, I think gets hit by the fire strike. Sag, dude.
Oh my word.
All right, been engaged. Okay, I think Boston should be able to get this. Oh, the mail was not great.
He gets boofed away. Did a little bit of damage, but now he's isolated on the side. Still manages to find a kill on Kepster though. Luckily enough, uses that shift to get the
Moth?
reload.
Farming?
As another self-destruct is launched high in the sky. Doesn't quite find anything. But
Moth farming?
the Gladiators as well as Bird
Moth diff?
cleaning up these kills. Still managing to hold on.
Okay.
The Boston Uprising don't really have much left after that.
Did the Reaper change make him better or worse? The general consensus of the Reaper changes seems to be that it made Reaper worse. He's better against squishies, but worse against tanks. So the tank busting of Reaper isn't really there. Reaper's strength is now really just TPing into the backline and then just like trying to two-shot like people from like somewhat medium range instead of trying to tank bust. So
Two of those, ironically. But yeah, we'll see. 72% for the Gladiators.
Aye.
So if they can lock up this last fight, they're going to take first.
oh, that was a great wall. Look at that wall. Just
Valentine was TPing in.
forces Valentine to shift. And once Valentine's shifted, the Reaper is kind of useless once they've been forced to shift. Gladiators have like no ults except for their big screen TV, I guess.
Gladiators running into them.
Yeah, and here goes my point about Punk being useless. I think Punk is actually so useless on this Diva. Against the composition that Gladiators are playing, the Diva is so bad.
The support's alive. That window doing it a whole heap.
Yeah, I think Boston Uprising kind of outcomped themselves a little bit. The idea, as I said, they win their first fight, but not having the willingness to switch after Gladiators go to the McCree May Diva, I think is just bad. I think they needed to switch off Reaper. They went back to McCree or something like that. I can see it working in some capacity. I just think the Reaper was a bit of a... The Reaper was a bit of a bait.
Well, not careful.
I think the Gladiators did a great.
Do you prefer the aggro Lucio style or the Team Tempos decided style?
Step on me.
I think there's times for everything. There's always like, there is times to go aggressive. I think in this current meta where there's a lot of McCrees and stuff like that, you got to be very careful about playing the aggro, like goat style of aggro with Lucio. I think there is times that you can go aggressive, but for right now, I think the Lucio style is very passive. For the most part, just trying to play, keep your BAP like controlled, boot people away, get people around, but you're not really doing a whole lot of flashy stuff. Could be wrong, but I think that's how it should be played. Achilles, really liking these VODs, Custa. Can you touch on the benefits of Diva over Xayah in these brawl comps? We actually talked a little bit about it with the match yesterday in Gladiators versus London Spitfire. Molfig was actually heavily leaning towards playing the Diva, especially in these brawl comps. I think he really didn't want to play the Xayah. The Xayah, I think, gets a ton more value in this brawl when they're able to clash head on and Xayah's able to get energy. I think in a situation where they're not playing this like stupidly hard rush with like Symmetra Junkrat, and you're playing like a May McCree, I actually like the Xayah a lot more. I think the bubbles get a lot more value against the May. And the Xayah just outputs more damage than the Diva, and the Graviton is better than the Diva. The Diva is very good though against the May and the Xayah in terms of eating ultimate. So I think if you're confident in it, which Molfig was, and he was getting the important eats, I can understand why people are playing the Diva. I think long term and over the long course, Xayah will generally be better in these like May McCrees, and I think Orisa will be better in these hardcore brawls. There is Reasons for Diva, as you just saw, Space played that Diva just there to counter the Reaper and the hard engage style of the London Spitfire. So I guess all in all, to sum it up, I think Diva is more defensive than the other two off tanks. And I think Orisa is the best survivable playmaker. And I think Xayah is like the offensive greedy pick in a way. And that's how I would categorize how the off tanks are being played in Brawl right now. We haven't seen enough of it, and no one's really refined it or defined it to the point that I could just be straight up wrong. But that's sort of my thoughts on the whole situation right now of like how everyone's playing these off tanks.
I think this is looking better than ever to be a Boston fan.
There's definitely I think there's definitely times in which each one of them is viable, and definitely potentially player centric. But it's like something with goats and stuff like that. Over a long period of time, if Brawl becomes the meta very heavily in at the start of the season, I think you'll see everyone playing the same sort of thing. I don't think you'll see much like this team plays Diva and this one plays Xayah. Over a long form of time, it'll conform towards one answer. And I don't know what that is yet. Where does Hog fit in? Yeah, Hog doesn't fit in. Hog does not fit in the meta right now. Hog is very bad in Brawl. Because it's very hard to get... okay. Muse is on the high ground. It's very hard to get value from Hog. Because he can just get run over. And especially against Mei, he just gets frozen and dies. Stan 1 gets Moth. How does that happen? Sorry, let me go back and have a look at this. LA Gladiators get in the left. Moth shouldn't be able to die here. I don't really know how Moth dies. Maybe he got booped out. Oh god, but Kevs is dead as well. That was a mistake. Pain, yeah. Hog's had some good times in the sun over the recent times. Oh, I just realized Color Hex is in. But yeah. It's cool to see Color Hex coming in. Playing the hit scan, which is interesting. I did not expect to see him play the hit scan over Valentine. Over IM37. But I think that shows the versatility of Color Hex. Color Hex is one of the few like flex DPS players that have a really good hit scan in them. Any other changes? No, that's just that. Interesting, we haven't seen more of Mira. I don't like where the window is. Placed by the Boston Uprising here. Okay, so the cross is interesting. I would much prefer to see the window like here. I think that gives them more options, right? Of shooting here and shooting there. They put it incredibly far forward. This might be on stand 1 because, you know, Myeonbong feels like he has to put it in front of his Reinhardt. He gets put here, which makes the Fire Strike feel really hard to get a value of. And now no one can get value out of it, right? Like, once the Fire Strike is missed, there's no one really getting value out of these windows anymore. And it's kind of a bait to stand 1. Stand 1 just sort of goes down for it. Oh, gotta hit those Muse. Color Hex gets space, which is a really big deal, right? So, because Xayah is here, and we actually see the differences of Punk playing the Diva and Space playing the Xayah here in this Brawl matchup. They're playing the exact same DPS, exact same everything else except for the Xayah to the Diva, which is interesting. I actually really like the Diva more, the Xayah more, sorry, in this setup. But I'm interested to see how much value Punk can get out of it. I haven't really noticed it too much yet. Yeah, what's up, Account of the Week? Where do you think Ana stands right now? I think Ana's biggest issue right now in the flex support meta of Brawl is Ana. I don't think Ana can put out as much healing as the Baptiste. And I think the Nano is more counterable than the Window. I think the Window is very good right now, especially in this Brawl setup. But I also just think Ana can struggle to keep up with heals. The only way you can really keep up with heals is by getting good nades and then healing and then try and get good purples. But that can be negated very heavily. I think the reason you see more people don't play Ana is if you started playing Ana, I think the off tank would definitely go towards Diva. And if your Ana nades start getting eaten, then the value of your character goes down dramatically. So I think Baptiste is just all around a better pick, especially when we haven't even talked about Immortality Field being thrown on top of that. The value of Immortality Field being able to keep your Reinhardt alive, negate grabs, negate a lot of damage is just unparalleled. So I think the amount of healing and the Immortality Field to Baptiste is just better. Is Window more of a zoning ult? Yeah, it's kind of like a show-stopping ultimate, where it's like, if they are out of position and you drop a Window, they just die. So you have to play around the Window at all times, and it's a very good tool of like either holding space or taking space. Nice high noon. This is going to be a oh, Punky did a phenomenal job of holding his Matrix until the time he needed to. That was a bait. Color Hex is getting good value on this Kree right now. Woohoo! Kind of clean with it. I really hope Color Hex has a good season. He's finally on a team that I think has potential to be really good. And I think he sort of gets like, a lot of people sort of like meme Color Hex as being like the worst DPS in the league. I don't know if that's true. Like, I feel like he hasn't ever been given a good set of hands since he joined the team, so I'm excited to see what he's going to do. Is Brig ever used? No, Brig is not used in Brawl because she just gets overrun.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see color.
You'll see some switches of Brig if we're not playing Brawl, if we're playing like a dive style, and we saw Moth sort of messing around with it, but right now a lot of Brawl is the main candidate. Oh, that's a risky grab by Space to throw it at a diva like that. He must have seen the Matrix. I actually really like this grab because as much as they can't really get a whole lot of value out of it because of the beat and stuff like that, they got a beat and lamp, but that's not even the value of it. What's going to happen here is these guys are going to fall, and now all of a sudden they don't have beat and lamp. So they traded a grab for beat, lamp, and they still have an advantage outside of the grab. Yeah, look at that. Oh, I actually like that yeet of the... So that was like a 900 IQ grab by Space. I don't know if he intentionally did that. I assume he did, but that was nuts. Do you think Lucio Bap with this word or Brig Bap? Yeah, Lucio Bap. 100%. You need the speed of Lucio. Brig doesn't really offer anything in Brawl.
I'm going to be able to push this one through, and I think on defense you always have to be careful of McCree on the high ground bridge here, so it'd be interesting to see if they send their own McCree up there to stop.
Echo still be used in the dive. We saw Gladiators play a lot of Echo yesterday when they played the dive style. It seems like today they're tending way more heavily to playing just like the mirroring the Brawl, which I'm happy about. They seemed really good at Brawl. Like the only reason I think the match versus London was so hard was because they were trying to force dive into a Brawl team. Oh, that was almost a really good booth by Moth. Oh! Oh, wow. That mail just created so much space. Oh, hey, Space. Space can win these. Oh, the shadow was so sad. He's still gonna die for that. That's such a feels bad moment. Dude, Moth is fucking out. Yeah, I think Space would want that grab back. I think he didn't anticipate getting shadowed. I think the grab is good if he catches the Lucio and doesn't get shadowed with it, right? I think that can be a fight-turning grab. But yeah. Switches to Diva after that. So we see Space sort of prioritizing the Diva over the thing. Interesting that Diva's going to go to the Diva. Space is going to go to the Diva. Maybe I was wrong, as I said about the Xayah, and that the Diva is going to be more heavily favored in this kind of setup. I think Diva is more versatile and less opportunity has less opportunity to be punished. Oh, that's a problem. Yeah, he's gonna lose that. We'll play by birdering. Punky didn't get it that time. This grab is gonna be that. They got the someone. That should be the point right there. Oh. Did Faith have that beat before? Faith didn't have the beat until then. I really dislike that beat though. That beat was really bad. The fight's essentially over at this point. I understand like the optimism and like when you finally get it, you've been wanting it for so long, then you finally get it, so you try and commit. But that was definitely one that I think Faith would want back on the Lucio. Diva gonna go to the Diva, like you do. Was dive with Monkey or Ball? I think it was pretty heavily set towards Monkey. Muse played a lot of Monkey yesterday. Alright, Diva Bomb engage. They didn't have the follow-up for that. I don't like that they didn't have the wall. They are going to get the... That's a really good mail. Great mail by Valentine, setting that up really well. It did cost them Diva Bomb and mail for that fight, which I think is worrying. That's like those are two pretty big engagement ults. They use Shatter... Wait, they use Shatter and Window? I didn't even see that they use Shatter and Window for that as well. They used 4 ultimates for that fight. They're going to have to hope they get a ton of value off this high noon. I'm curious to see if they're going to go early. If they're going to try and engage with it early and be proactive with it. It's pretty hard with the route that the Gladiators have taken. I think you give them corner here. I think they're too close right now for this high noon play. I don't like what they're trying to do here. I think... Alright, Punk gets the eat again. Alright, Color Hex doesn't get... So they have no ults right now. I think they're going to engage with Diva Bomb. Yeah, here comes the window Diva Bomb. That's really smart. And you see Moth goes in for the boop as well. Use windows so that they can't walk into you, and then you use the Diva Bomb behind them so that they really didn't have places to go. This is a closer fight than you would like it to be, but I think that's probably just because Stan 1 got the pin onto Kevson.
to re-engage rather quickly.
Are they not playing team because of scrims? Yeah, I think they just don't have the tournament. They're not playing on the tournament client, I assume. I think they're probably just playing on the OPR client.
Yeah, it's always a funny interaction.
So that, you know, they have more freedom to do these kind of things.
And he's like, oh, Summer.
Zero from high noon is actually pretty high. Usually it gets negative value from McCree instantly killed. Yeah, but you actually see how Birdring has been using it every time. They're using it for positional advantage, and they're forcing Boston to react perfectly. And Boston has. Punk's done a great job of eating it a couple of times. Everyone's getting out of the way. But the amount of positioning that you get with the high noon is really good. And Birdring hasn't been too greedy with it. He hasn't been getting punished with it. It seems like they've been putting a lot of emphasis on walling the high noon up to just get more value. Good disengage by LA Gladiators on the Myeongbong window. So they should be able to come back with their own window. Shu almost has that window, so right? Oh, nice flash. Shatter! The oldest trick in the book. Great play by the Gladiators. Alright. Does Moth have beat? Oh yeah, great beat by Moth. Yeah, they're just too many ults for the Gladiators, and that's going to be the end of the Boston Uprising. I honestly think a lot of this goes back to the number of ultimates they used in that fight. When they used the Diva Bomb, the Mei ult, the window, it kind of messed with their ult economy, and that ended up causing that snowball. So...
I mean, this is, I've said it all day, and I'm probably repeating myself, but this is why I love varied metas, is because you see all of these different synergies, all these small little combinations of abilities, like being able to hit that flashbang.
Yeah, I think the reason you're not seeing a lot of Wrecking Ball being played is I think Wrecking Ball, if you go Wrecking Ball, the opposition just goes Brig or Sombra, and I think you just become irrelevant. I think the problem, and the reason we've seen a lot of people move away from the Wrecking Ball, is it can be countered very easily, but also I just don't think it can get enough effectiveness against Brawl. It feels like you're just rolling through them, but every time you try and slam, you just die. Like, try going Brawl, try against Mei McCree. The McCree flashes you, and then you get frozen by the Mei. And then you also have a Babs that's going to constantly shoot you. It's just hard to get. Boston! No. Bad Boston. No. No. Boston, what did we talk about? Yet you just lost a game. Almost lost a game to the Paris Eternal playing this Genjiana shit.
I like the idea behind the comp.
It just doesn't work. Why is Punk playing Sigma? Like, Sigma is just... He's not going to be able to frontline like they want him to. The Wrecking Ball is going to get countered. I honestly hate this comp so much. They're so dependent on this Nano Blade getting a ton of value. And I think it's going to take them too long to get points. The reason Brawl is so effective is how quickly it takes fights, right? Alright, he's going to go to the Rhine Orisa Sig. Brig, yeah, I just don't like this comp. I just really don't. I think that Anna Brig is going to get walked at by this Gladiators.
The interaction here I want to talk about is the fact that Space is going to be able to deny a lot of the free farm that Valentine might be able to get. Well, this is a lot of free farm now as everybody's just kind of...
Honestly, this has been an awful engage by Glads. That was like worst case scenario of an engage. Yeah, I actually think they're going to get away with it. But Gladiators just, I think they dropped and they didn't have a clear target in mind. And what happened is Valentine was able to just sit behind them doing damage, and then they sort of panicked about the Genji. So they actually got a ton of value for that. But I don't think, if you look at these two comps and you say these two teams brawl, Boston should not be the one that comes out ahead. I think that's a low percentage win. Nano Blade is fun. Yeah, it's just not very effective. This janky Ana shit, it is janky.
Very strong. They're nearing the ultimates that they need here. You'd have to imagine that Myeongbong is probably able to get to this nano boost pretty quickly, and you could have the Nano Blade, and to shut it down on the other side, it's pretty much only flashbang and immortality fields.
So I think if you're Boston, you just farm your Nano Blade and you win this fight with the Nano Blade. And if you're Gladiators, you get your window, and they're gonna just drop a window. Oh, danger. Alright, Nano Blade. Not using the Nano. Myeongbong got shattered on the Nano. Valentine does a great job of getting value. Like, Valentine's Genji has honestly been sick. Every time we've seen it, as much as I hate the comp, Valentine's Genji is literally one of the few things holding this comp together, in my opinion. He always gets value from his blades, even in situations... Like, he didn't get nanoed. He just bladed, like, flat bladed there and got a ton of value.
It's the most impressive thing, actually. Like, if this was with Nano Boost, I would write it off. Because last year we had a meta where...
See, that was so... Yeah, I love Genji as much as the next person, right? The reason I have so much frustration about it is Boston looked so good in their matchup against Paris Eternal, and then every time they played the Genji, it didn't work. Oh, shit. That was a mess up by Stan 1 getting eyes. Oh, almost got value out of that. That was too early.
Insane, actually, if he managed to get a couple of people there.
Who did they nano?
Custa receives the beat. However, the boss
I don't know who got nanoed.
is more than happy to fight this mano a mano. They've
Oh, that was...
and Shu, even Space now, they have the beat and they rushed forwards. They still weren't able to.
Gladiators are really struggling to win these fights right now.
Finds 3 kills, almost a 4.
I don't know how Gladiators are losing these fights as well. It feels like this should be going better for them.
An absolute showcase with this double shield in the Genji comp.
Like, I honestly think Gladiators comp is better. They should be winning this matchup. It feels like they're losing fights they shouldn't be losing.
Yeah, they're coming back. Left side.
Oh, there it is, and the speed boost.
Alright, now they bongo, but they get mailted.
Ready to deflect first.
Alright, Valentine's gonna get caught.
Valentine
Taking weird fights, I think. Yeah, I feel like they're right in this, but they're under the impression that they need to engage with their ultimates. With their composition against what Boston's playing, and I agree. It just feels like they're not getting the value out of it that they really need to.
Oh, he got another blade. I don't even care where Nano's at, because that's not how they've been running it.
It's not important. Yeah, Nano, not important.
Would you guys not marry Genji? I'd marry Genji, you know.
Okie dokie.
I think I used to have a command in my chat, which was when we were doing
Anything to contest.
fuck, marry, kill of it was like a bunch of Overwatch characters. And I think I ended up summarizing. I would hate fuck Genji. That is what it would, because I'm a support player. That is what it would be. Just my disdain for him is too much, but you know it had to be done. Oh, okay, good lamp. Force, yeah, okay, that's the best time they've got value out of the lamp. Like the lamp is stopping the Valentine shouldn't be getting as much value out of this blade. As he is, like especially a naked blade with no nano. So that was the first time we've really seen Gladiators deal with that very well, with the pre-lamp, and then on the person that Valentine chose to go. They switched to the Echo.
My point was before, if you can, you know, people are going to be.
I feel like the comp is bad now. Like they're trying to go for Echo kills, but they're going for. I feel like their tanks are just going to get run over. I don't know. I don't really like this comp by Boston.
I'm used to hit a shatter on a couple people and may have gotten the Genji. Hard to tell sometimes.
A rare moment with good taste.
With Boston, could Nano rally brig? Please stop that.
Alright. They're gonna rally engage, which should work very well.
Small room as well. It feels like a lot of these have been.
Alright, Moth goes down. Moth didn't beat.
A raid boss. Oh dear, Kevster already falls down. Flux in the very small room.
Oh, Moth was purple. Oh, he didn't have it. Okay, he didn't have it until he died. Okay. I was very curious why Moth didn't beat this Flux. Yeah, Kevster definitely just going to interrupt on that bleed. I like the play by Boston, just going hard in the paint with the rally. I think as much as that seems good for Boston, the card was moving back, so they use Bongo, Flux, Rally. 3 are probably their strongest ultimates that they have. And they don't... Oh, God. Where's Space there? So they don't really have a thing. So, but that's a really bad by Space. So now they have the engagement with the beat, but it's kind of hard to see what they're going to be able to do with it. Birdring's going for the high noon flank of the set. Oh, Moth! There it is. The classic Lucio spot. The bomb. Dude, look at that. This is so disheartening if you're a player. If you've been here, the Lucio gets the boop and you're like, no. Actually, this is the most sad thing that's ever happened. Look at what happens to Faith. Alright. This is a great boot by Moth. Great play. Look at the angle. Tight, thick, solid. Okay, so we get Stand 1, who only just makes it over. But look at Faith. Faith uses a Brig Bash to stay on the point, okay? But he clips this edge, which then makes him do a super leap for the Brig. And he ends up on the other side of the bridge. Falls to his death. That is just honestly, that's just unfortunate. You can't even fault that. That's just the saddest moment of your life. Accidental brig parkour. But then let's look at this. Space throws the Diva Bomb through the window. The Hail Mary, the classic Hail Mary. Because they can turn around for this. Colorhex gets a double. Punk kills one. Like they're like, don't worry, we can recover from this boot. Space kills the nanoed Echo with the classic book, and then Birdring double high noons them and gets slept at the same time. That is honestly just so depressing if you're a Boston fan. They got wiped in the span of like, look at that. Look at all their respawn times. They got wiped in the span of like Oh my god. That fight is actually just... That fight is... encompasses this entire bridge, attacking over this bridge. For anyone who's ever played this game for long enough, we've all been in that situation where you should win this fight, and then everything goes tragically wrong.
But it takes so long to register that the high noon comes
Oh god.
right off the edge. God, that bridge is the bridge where dreams go to die.
Niagara the Hex, yeah. The place where dreams go to die. Exactly.
One of the highest
Sad.
of the game.
Today's one was super clean through the window, yeah. It's hard to do. It, like, oh wow, I love the change of tempo from Gladiators. This is such a good heads-up play right here. I think Gladiators recognize they're probably all tracking. They're like, I think they're coming up on more ultimates than us. They only have a window, right? This is all they have to work with. You go up the tempo and catch them off guard. Because as I said, their comp should brawl better than Boston's. They use the window, they run over them. I almost think they gave it away a little bit by looking, but I really love this change of tempo. And they're gonna get the fight win, and this is gonna force Boston to switch their composition to touch the point for the next fight.
Yeah, you're not long for this world, unfortunately, Stam 1. I think this is going to be it. 17 seconds remains for the Boston Uprising to get to that payload.
So Faith goes Lucio, but Lucio is actually one of the harder people to touch on because there's so many things. Yeah, everyone's switching. I think it has to be on stand 1. Stand 1 probably should get it. It's probably gonna cost him his life though. Oh, nice wall. They could have definitely stopped that.
Really important here. They do end up getting touches on the point because they've got a tracer, but Valentine goes down before all.
Oh, Space gets booped. Faith. Oh, we're in the game.
A little bit more difficult as Birdring is in the front line, but had that immortality field in his back. He finds 2. Faith trying to go for another boot, but it's
Birdring, I'm gonna need you to shoot this, Lucio.
Unfortunately, here's the flux I was talking about.
Oh, Punky.
Unfortunately, but it's just tank v tank. It's gonna be.
Oh, is that a male? Yeah. Not enough. That was close. That was close to getting value.
Oh my word! Can we just get a Gladiator?
All right. 2-0 to the Gladiators. Let's go on to Boston's match. Here we go. What do we got? Let's see if we get to, because this is, I don't think Brawl, this is one of the few maps I don't think Brawl is going to get a ton of value. So we are actually going to see a different look, which is exciting. We're going to see Gladiators go the Winston, Diva, Sombra, Tracer. So this is Anna Brig. This is pretty common these days. I think you generally see people play Xayah with this composition for the most part. But I think on Gibraltar, where you want high ground, I think Space is going to play the Diva. I wouldn't be surprised to see something similar from Boston.
I trust the Gladiators scouting and coaching to have seen something that they feel they can work with, and we'll see. Yeah, like you said, Gibraltar. I love this tournament because we've seen like every map.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so many different.
Skewed is in 2 instead of Moth. Oh, true. Good shout. Thank you. I'm 37's back in instead of Color Hex and Skewed instead of Moth. So we get to see the Skewed Brig. All right. I honestly have never watched Skewed in my life, so I don't know what to expect. But he's replacing a 2-time, so I'm interested to see how he's gonna do. I like that they gave him a run. Okay. Clean. Alright, I like the. I don't know if I like the Ashe. I don't know if I like the Ashe from I'm 37. I think I'd prefer to see a Tracer or something, or a Sombra. Because I think the Ashe might get isolated a lot, especially with no Mercy Pocket. I think it's going to be hard for this Ashe to get a whole lot of value. They have to play pretty reactive with what they're doing. Oh, Space just got murdered.
That sleep actually onto Space was pretty nice from
I think Muse is dead as well, dude. Echo, doing Echo things. Clean Valentine. Cart is going backwards, though. That's worth noting. As much as they're getting a great dive and they're isolating thing, the cart is not going back. So LA Gladiators will get a recontest here.
Almost got the rally as well as that nano available from Shu too.
But Boston has a lot of ultimate. This Bob is gonna hurt. This Bob is really gonna hurt. They don't have the EMP. They do with the rally though. They could easily sort this out with the rally. But I think the Bob could be a problem. Oh, Valentine goes down before it happens though. EMP was good. It hits the tanks and I think it also hit the Bob, which gives them a bit of time. Oh, no, I don't think that was good by Punky. Oh, that was really bad by Punky. The bomb ended up out of the room, and he also... I think they almost got punished for that as well. Oh, yeah, and here's the weakness of the Ashe, is just, like, the primal. If they get on their backline, you're just in trouble. Alright, that was an expensive fight for Gladiators to win. They cost them EMP, primal, nano, rally. Scoot almost has another rally? What the fuck?
Kev's just trying to run away, gets hacked.
What the hell?
Trouble. Use as well. Trade Echo.
222 when he used it, or when it runs out.
Run away, gets hacked, then EMP'd by
Wait.
He's made
Excuse at 0% with 222.
Echoes as Stanmore manages the copy coming out. This hacked, then
He has it
Valentine, who's the copy of the Sombra.
at 147. That took him 35 seconds to charge a rally. That's pretty nuts. I've never gotten even close to charging a rally. 35 seconds to charge a rally is pretty absurd. I would be curious. I wish I could go see what he did. Because that is almost permanent Inspire uptime with a couple of people around you and, like, packs. What did he do? Dude, okay, Skewed's cheating. It's the only one. But Valentine switches to the Sombra at the end there, which is really bad. You know how I said that costs Gladiators a lot? Boston mirrored mirrored their ultimates and didn't get the cap. I think they're in dangerous territory getting full hold now.
Gladiators able to hold, and Gibraltar's
That's why he's in, I guess. Dude, Skewed's brig. I don't know if this is just like a one-off, but that was kind of good.
Boston might have to play this a little bit slower so that they can get to some ultimate abilities, because right now the Gladiators are stacked.
This is actually really good. I think he's such a good sleeper pickup. Yeah, as I said, I honestly have no idea. I don't know where he came from. I don't know the scouting.
One more good fight. It's just a matter of if they want to try to take one now or wait on it.
And look at the ult generation as well from Skewed. He's already at the rally and face at 45% hex. IM37 is ready and waiting to set up with this Bob. Try and get
Alright,
the
Skewed
dynamite damage up
is
on
not
the
rallying?
Apparently just that, but they should be
Why are they not using any ultimates?
with this Bob.
Why is nothing being used?
Apparently just that, but
Skewed, you got it. Time to flex on him. Drop that rally.
with a brig at your back as well. Kev's still falling, not too great of a start, and if IM37
I'm really confused with what just happened. He's mainly, oh really? Skewed's mainly a flexible player? Interesting. That's a great pickup though, if he can play that flex support role. Because we've seen that having double flex DPS, flex supports is like super valuable.
but it's all up to Boston now to try and take
Yo, they might turn this. The nano on the news, he gets a value, and then the rally they get to keep him together. Oh man, I'm really surprised that they didn't use that rally earlier, but it was kind of a bait.
still manages to sleep
It was a dangerous gamble, but dude, Shu's been hitting some nutty sleeps and nades right now.
It just seems like everyone on Boston has been purple for the last 2 minutes. He's
Yeah.
his antis to clean that up.
Where was Muse that fight at the start? He died. They were trying to hold blue box. Space and Muse were trying to hold blue box.
Here I will be beside myself because it is the ult that can close.
Oh my
this
god.
map.
Oh, someone gets the early primal off though.
Valentine does
Valentine gets into his. He's gonna get a primal as well.
all the way back to season 1 of Ranked Ladder. But
The double Winston classic.
managed to at least get the Winston copy out onto Valentine, but is it actually
Oh, the sleep onto Valentine, dude. Shu's actually just clowning on Boston right now.
not Rising need to peel
Punk gets hacked with his Diva Bomb.
onto Valentine, but Space managed to take care of Punk.
Fucking Skewed just used another rally. Is this his third rally of the round? That's so good.
Down. Faith ends up falling as well as Valentine dies to shoot.
Dude, Shu Skewed.
Hex Myungbong full stand wants to follow, and the Gladiators hold first on Watch Point Gibraltar.
Seems good, man.
Very winnable still.
I remember he events get anti-primary. Like he has. Such
Shu's tired. He wants this to be over. I've decided that the game must end.
You can actually do shots here and there. The enemy
Shu Skewed. Shooed.
the best thing you can do
The Nano Brig. Yo, they know who the carry is.
because she's then having
Skewed has it again. I don't know how he's charging these rallies so fast.
resources, and at the end of the day, you are a sniper. You will shoot with your
Oh, Boston's comp. I do not like.
You're gonna be able
I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like Boston's comp.
Well, we'll see a very easy win.
I think the Ash Echo is so greedy. Like, the point of it is, like, that they're going to just have so much damage. But if they ever get on top of Boston, they're in trouble.
2-0 in the series.
Like, I think it's going to be really hard for Boston to stay alive. And that's why people play the Sombra, right? The Sombra is, like, very good with counter dive. That's what we saw from the Gladiators. But I think the Ash Echo, we saw, like, even though the Ash gets a lot of damage, like, it's not...
LA has to crack this.
If they get picked, it's just a problem.
one big EMP
they're just pushing.
bird ring, really. Yeah, Hex.
Spoilers? Oh, I don't know about that one.
Totally redeem himself.
True. One EMP to rule them all. Nice blue box control though.
Yeah, look, Gladiators have gotten all the space now. They're charging up Nano. That's why Muse in space. Oh, Space Doing was back. They're just charging up Nano. They're gonna go in Nano with Muse. What is Boston's solution to Muse? Like, they just have to hope that Faith and Myeonbong outplay Muse.
Been hitting him with the stick pretty consistently here.
Yeah, he's just gonna get nanoed walking. Oh, okay, counter. You know how I was saying Faith and Myeonbong need to outplay them? They do. Oh, massive nade by Shu again. Double purple into Faith and Myeonbong. As much as Myeonbong popped off with that sleep, they need to push cart. They need to push cart. Someone needs to push cart right now. Someone should have left earlier to start pushing that cart.
Shu, nano boost on the monkey. Cool. That's your fault that you got slept, buddy. No worries. Let me just hit an anti-nade real quick on your backline. Yeah.
Yeah, Shu's just putting this team on. He's actually had an insane map right here.
IM37's gonna have Bob Hex. They're gonna have Clone.
Yeah, they're gonna have Coin Bob. They can hold this. They can definitely hold this. They need to get IM37 needs his Bob like yesterday.
Working towards that EMP also.
All right, there goes the Bob. Ah, Valentine's dead already. They really needed Valentine to get to. Oh,
They slept Bob.
Oh, the EMP is so. Okay, as quick as I came back in, as quick as it was over.
yeah, wow. As I said, I don't really like the comp by Boston. I think it's very greedy on damage, and I think you struggle to hold positioning if you just don't get picks. So it's kind of like the Widow effect, right? Of like, Widow's great to have range and damage, but if you can just get dove on, then it's a problem. So I honestly think Gladiators just outclassed Boston. I really like the looks that we saw from Gladiators in this match compared to what we saw yesterday against Paris. Against London. Gladiators looking kind of clean. It was kind of a hodgepodge. Boston kind of got owned, but I think it was a little bit closer than you think. Boston have got to recycle and put to bed this Genji strat, I think. As much as it sort of worked on Iconwall, I think they gotta some of their things a little bit. Some of their compositions I wasn't really happy with by Boston, but I think you look at it, the individual skill is there. I think they played really well. Obviously, they got the win over Paris, so I'm excited to see more of Boston. I don't really know where to put Boston, but Gladiators obviously looking like the dominant force in NA. I like Boston's roster. I think everyone does. I don't think many people have issues with Boston rosters. I think it's well-rounded. I think it has a lot of great players in it, and I think it's just really good. So I'm excited to see more of Boston. I don't think you can look at this match and be just like, Boston's trash. They just got owned by Gladiators. I don't think that's true. So I'm excited to see more of them. And Gladiators, I think this was an important statement. You know, they went to 5 against London. I think they really wanted to show that they were one of the dominant teams in this roster because everyone expected them to just roll over this tournament. So, NA Power Rankings. I will be doing Power Rankings. I don't think I'm going to do individual team. I'll probably do it in tiers. Like, I'll probably start from the bottom and then make my way up of my tier lists. That's sort of what I'm thinking. So, I'll go from there. Yeah, as I said, this is still very early looks at the teams. We haven't seen everything. Teams have not hit their full potential, all that kind of stuff. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was good to look at these matches. I hope you guys really enjoyed the insight. It's good to see some OWL content. It's been a mortal age since we had it. We do have some more reviews coming. We have the Seoul vs Washington review going to be happening. We'll do that tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, comment if you would like to see anything else. But as I said, I'll be doing my power rankings soon. So you can all yell at me about how bad my power rankings are. So love you. Thank you very much for watching. And peace out.